Well, hello, hello, hello. It's your girl, Sean LeRae, and welcome back to Boss Talk. That's bold, one of a kind, sensational superstars, and that's each and every one of you. And here is my theme song.
One of a kind. Whoa, one of a kind.
It's Boss Talk. It's Wednesday. That's not today. So if you're out there, put in the chat what you plan to do to make it through the weekend. Because Boss Talk is the weekend.
Sensational superstar. Boss Talk. Boss Talk. We're shining. 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 It's time for shining. Boss Talk.
And hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Boss Talk. I hope that you are having a fantastic Wednesday. So, you all know that I also call this Wellness Wednesday. So, I want to just calm us down a little bit. I've had a pretty busy day. I started out fairly early this morning for a Wednesday because Wednesday is the day that I do not work for anyone, myself included. But I did have a really exciting calendar event to check off, and that was going to be fitted for my bridal gown. So that was amazing. And so I want to shout out Bass and Aisha at their beautiful shop at 238 South Market Street in Inglewood. So if you are looking for clothing from the motherland, please go there. They have the most beautiful fabrics and patterns. They have purses, they have jewelry, they have coufes and other kinds of hats and head wraps, and just beautiful accessories and garments that are stylish and still of that the most beautiful African fabrics and patterns and just colorful, gorgeous things. And they are making my bridal gown, and I'm so excited about that. They're also making my second outfit. So I'm so happy. Shout out to Gwendolyn Goodman, who turned me on to them. And thank you, big sis. I appreciate you for that. And so that was a really exciting thing. And let's see who's out here. I'm here, darling dear. Hello, love. How are you? Thank you for tuning in, of course, of course. And he says, beautiful African attire. Absolutely gorgeous. He got two really nice hots. We also got some really great soap. I got some black soap with shea butter and some mango butter soap. I will tell y'all how it feels and what it's like once I try it. So just wanted to give that awesome shout out to them. Also want to shout out my producer and creator of my amazing soundtrack, Boss Talk with Sean LeRae. So shout out to Wayne Lindsay and his beautiful daughter, Alana Lindsay, for that. And of course, my amazing producer behind the scenes, Miss Crystal Larte. So welcome back. It's Wednesday and it's Wellness Wednesday. So let's just get some good breathing going. Let's get some good breathing going and bring down all the angst, anxiety, worry, concern, all those things that maybe is living inside you that you need to let go of and just release. So let's start just by taking some deep breaths. Start out through going in, inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Breathe in and exhale. Breathe in. Ooh. And let's do one more, holding it into 4, hold for 4, out for 4. Inhale. And out. Ooh. Lift your shoulders, let them drop. Lift your shoulders, let them drop. Lift your shoulders, roll them to the back. Lift them up and roll them to the front. Drop your head to the right. Let that ear go down to that shoulder, but don't raise your shoulder to meet it. Come back up and over one more time. Now shake it out. Shimmy, shake your shimmy. All right. So I thank you for indulging me in that. I needed that, and I figure if I needed it, you all might need it too. So if you're out there and it's your first time here visiting us at Boss Talk, then please know that we are here every Wednesday. So you can join us for Boss Talk LA on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, and tell your friends and ask them to like, comment, and subscribe. And when you subscribe, hit that little bell so that you get reminders and know every time we go live. So I'm really excited about my show tonight. As many of you out there know, I am a widow who has found my way through healing, and I am back living as my full self, and I have found someone I can love again, and it's a really beautiful thing. And I thought it's very important to continue to have this conversation because we are losing people all the time. Women are being widowed, men are becoming widowers, and we don't speak, I don't think, enough about what it looks like to come through that. We talk about grief, we talk about loss, but we often don't give people the tools to move beyond the grieving process, to even move through it. And so my guest tonight is someone whom I have met and admire and adore, and we are like in a couple of ways. We are both jewelers and we are both widows, and we have both found our way back through that grieving process and are trying to use our lives to help other people use theirs. And so the title of tonight's show is called Love, Loss, and Healing, Learning to Live Again, One Woman's Journey to Rebuild a New Life. So let me tell you about my beautiful guest. Pamela J. Donaldson was born right here in Los Angeles, California. She is a mother of 2 sons, a grandmother, a beautiful grandmother, and now widowed for 5 years after 18 years of marriage. Pamela holds a MBA in business administration, and she is a retired budget management executive. She is an ebook author and the owner of an online jewelry store. She's also a member of the West Side Church of Christ for 26 years and serves on the finance committee, the RFAC, and on Christian dating panels. She enjoys trail running, marathons, fitness, jewelry designing, golf, and digital content creation. She motivates and encourages others to move forward in life toward healing and goal setting by building confidence through biblical scriptures, prayer, and motivational videos. She promotes self-love and self-care by sharing content via social media, ebooks, and other digital downloads. So, ladies and gentlemen and Boss Talkers, without another word from me, please welcome to Boss Talk, Pamela Donaldson. Hello there.
Hello, and thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. This has been a long time coming because we've talked about it every time we run into one another at events, and I'm really happy that we are making it happen tonight.
Yes, so am I. So am I. This is a great honor.
And thank you for taking the time because we know that you are a busy, busy girl too. I
Yes, yes, I am. Yes, I am. But this
love
is
that.
important, and I wanted to be a part of this. I had been looking forward to it, and here I am.
Yes, indeed, indeed. Now tell me, so I know that you were married for 18 years. So I always like to know how people met. So tell us how you met your beau.
Oh my goodness, yes, I'd be happy to. Actually, we met at church. Actually, the very first time that I laid eyes on him was at a church service. I believe we were having like an annual, in the beginning of the year, we have these annual workshops. We don't quite
Wow.
have them anymore, but we did back in the day. And we were both baptized the same year of 1998, and I was baptized in February. He was baptized in August. And so, fast forward to January 1999, we're at this event, and we almost collided. I was coming out the door, he was coming in, and we nearly collided. And
Oh,
I
wow.
thought to myself, because I remember him being at his baptism and saying, "Oh, that's the guy we baptized not long ago."
Uh-huh.
Little did I know that would be my husband. But we started going out on encouragement dates, and he asked me out on a date, and we went out on this date to the Getty Museum, and it was absolutely wonderful. And just shortly after that, he asked for an exclusive dating relationship, and that's where it started. But we met right in a church building.
I love that. I love that so much. And how long did you all date before he popped to the bigger question?
If I can remember correctly, I believe it was. I think we dated for about 12 months, 13 months.
Hmm.
I would say, like,
Okay.
yeah, close to a year and a half, but not. I don't think it was a full a half year. Yes,
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe like 13 months.
Okay. We have some people out there chatting with us. So, hey, Candace, nice to see you, ladies. She says, hey, hey, great ladies.
Hi.
And there is a specific hello to you. Welcome, Pam, from that. That is Gigi. I don't know. Do you know Gigi?
Oh, thank you, Gigi.
Do you know Gigi?
I don't think I know Gigi. Maybe this is her nickname. Maybe if I
And,
knew her full
her
name.
nickname is Jerry, but I don't think anybody ever actually knows that. It might be even
Oh,
Jordan. I'm not sure about that part.
right. Anyway, hello, Gigi.
She's a
Thank you
member.
for the warm welcome.
Yes, yes. So, okay, so you guys had sort of a whirlwind romance, kind of a year and a half or so, and then
Yes,
you got married.
yes, you did.
And after 18 years, you lost him.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I
Okay.
lost him.
Was there
He
an illness, or if you don't mind sharing?
Yes, he pretty much battled non-Hodgkin's lymphoma
Mm.
throughout our entire marriage, pretty much. We married in 2021, and in 2022, he went for an exam for employment, and
Wait,
that's where that
you married in what year?
2022. I'm sorry, 2002.
Okay,
We were
2000.
married in 2001, and in 2002 he is when the cancer was discovered. So pretty much throughout the entire marriage, he um, he was being treated for cancer. However, he had really long stints of remission, like
Mhm,
7 years remission. The cancer recurred twice, and so
mm,
during the last stint of it, during like 2017 to 2019,
mhm,
um, by that time he's aged, and by that time some of his organs begin to suffer from the previous treatments. So
mm,
um, yes, so he was living off of blood transfusions, and he couldn't be treated during
mhm.
the last stint because his heart had weakened and his organs began to shut down. So
Wow.
yeah, it was really devastating.
Sure. How old was he?
He was 72.
Mhm. Hmm.
He was 72, but he was a young 72. I mean, I don't know if you could put that on age. He looked as if he was maybe in his late 50s. He was a very energetic, um, very happy-go-lucky. His personality was just wonderful.
Hmm.
Excuse me. So he
Yeah, I
didn't look his
understand
age.
that.
He,
I understand that. My late husband was 13 years older than I,
yes,
and
yes,
when he
and he was
passed in
16 years older than
1974.
me, my senior.
Yeah, yes, and when William Joseph passed, he was 74. Yes,
Yes,
74. He had just turned 74 in December, and
right.
then he passed in February.
Yes.
So tell us, Pamela, I imagine that finding out that he had cancer in 2002 as a newlywed was pretty devastating, just to start with that. And so what were you able to do to help you kind of even manage that from the very beginning?
Well, from the very beginning, I'm just grateful that I had faith in God, just as a
Mm,
Christian. Having faith in God and just having a community, just a church community, and just knowing how to pray as a wife, and learning more along the way. The way that he found out, about the cancer was just through a random test because he was starting a new job. So he had not developed symptoms. So it
mm,
wasn't like he fell ill and then they ran tests and discovered the cancer. It was just discovered just through a random test, which to us was, I mean, if you can look at that as a blessing, because
absolutely.
he didn't fall ill. Like he went through the treatment and he wasn't even affected by the treatment initially. Like with the first stint of the cancer, he didn't show any signs of any type of issues with treatment. So he went through the treatment, he got better, cancer went away, we went on with our lives.
Uh,
So we didn't think about it ongoing until it recurred again in
mm,
2012.
I see.
So yeah, so through prayer and just um, staying hopeful that everything God had him, like
Yeah.
that is what got me through. And because he didn't suffer that at that point
Hmm.
initially, that really gave us some peace.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now you have two sons. Did you have children together?
No, we had no children together. We were already empty nesters when we met. So
Oh, wonderful.
So yeah, so it was just he and I, in as far as our living situation.
Uh-huh. Yes, yes. Okay. Hey, Soror Terry. She says God had him and you. Absolutely.
Yes, thank you, Terry. Yes,
Absolutely.
he did.
Absolutely. Hey, the beautiful Key Renee is with us tonight. Hello there. Thank you for tuning in, young lady. So you had 10 years then of him, feeling good and moving around and doing all the things. He must have been fairly healthy too, to have not had symptoms and doing so well through the first treatment too.
Yes, he was. He was healthy, fit. We ate well. After learning of the cancer, of course, we kicked that up a bit more as far
Hmm.
as juicing and you know um,
Right.
making better choices as far as
Hmm.
his diet.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Now, Pamela, can you talk about that? Because I am on my own wellness journey from the um inside out. I
Mhm.
like to call it. And we joke and we say, I'm getting ready. It's the wellness wedding workout and work down. But I had started this journey before that, and meeting my fiance really helped me kick it up a notch because he was already eating organic for years and is healthy and doesn't take any medication and all the things. And so I really wanted to really take my holistic lifestyle to another level. I mean, I have a company called Living Loved Pathways to Holistic Healing. So I need to be walking my walk and talking my talk. And so I definitely can attest to the difference in eating holistic food, eating clean food. Can you share a little bit about that? Because looking at you, you don't look your age at all, period, dot. Because when you say you were an empty nester in 2002, folks probably raising an eyebrow like, what, she had babies at 12? What? And so What is
Oh
your
gosh, pretty much. Well, I was a teen mom. I mean,
okay?
I was a teen mom, and I've shared that on other podcast platforms. But I'm
Hmm.
61. I'm 61 now, and I'm a marathon runner. I run regularly. I run trail runs Monday, Thursdays, Fridays, 5 miles, 3 miles. I'm running every week. I'm doing exercises every day
Hmm.
because fitness is in health and fitness is a lifestyle. It's not
Yes,
just an
indeed.
occasional thing where you like there's an event or whatever going on. And by the way, congratulations on your engagement. I'm really happy for you. That is
Thank-
amazing.
Yes,
But movement, I would say, is the key. You have to keep the body moving, doing something. And even if you're immobile and you can't not move, if you can move your arms to
right.
find some sort of machine or something, weights just to keep the blood moving because the movement pushes toxins out. It
Mm,
pushes toxins out of your system. So if you're just sitting all day or whatever, you need to find time to get up. So I would think like clean eating, definitely we there's so much processed foods in our reach these days. It's just you have to read the label because they're sneaking in ingredients in these
oh, yeah.
foods that are supposed to be whole foods. You have to read it, and there's there are things and preservatives and things that they're hiding in those things. So I prepare my own meals. That's the only way I feel that I'm going to really know what I'm eating, that I'm really going to know what's in the food is to prepare it myself. I prepare food. I'm always at the grocery store buying fresh fruit, vegetable, leafy greens.
Mm,
Vitamin K is great for your heart health. Buying those things and cooking those things.
yeah,
And so those are just a few things that I can share.
absolutely. And I appreciate that. I know that just even I find that the taste of food is so amazing when it's clean. And, we
Yes.
get caught up in all these excess things that we don't know what they are. We don't know what they're doing to our body. They just taste good. And so I'm starting
Right.
to learn what it is like to just eat the pure food. And listen, about those labels, I started learning from William Kirby, that you have to read the fine print, and if there's too much to read, you don't need it. I
True.
know we
Ingredients.
and I did learn recently that there is an app that will tell you the nutritional value of certain foods, and so we were drinking a particular milk, and we found out and it was an oat milk. We found out that it's not the best, and so we found one, and just the day that a friend of mine told me about it, um he bought it, and it has only like 3 ingredients, and like it makes so much sense. And there's so many things that the FDA allows them to use and still call it natural flavoring, but it's full of chemical gunk and garbage. And so I
Yeah.
just think that is a tremendously wrong. And that I think it's important to educate our people about, knowing what it looks like to eat healthy, and it isn't what we might think often. So thank
Right.
you for
That's
sharing.
right.
Those are great tips. William says, thank you, Pamela. You're giving fantastic advice about reading labels and staying active. Absolutely.
Oh,
And
thank you.
you are a marathon runner, which hats off to you, my girl. I think many years ago, my girl Renee Hadley Nene and I were going to run a half marathon in Kona, Hawaii.
Wow.
And we were so excited. And then I think I got sick or she got sick. Something happened and we didn't get to finish doing it. But we started in the training, and I was amazed at what the body can do. I
Yes.
I've been on walking every day, um, just about every day. And if I don't walk, I do something else to offset. But I'm moving. My phone tells me that I'm moving so much more than last year, and it's like almost 3,000 more steps a day than last year, which is
Wow.
amazing to me. And I feel amazing. And then I coordinate weddings. And so I had the gift of coordinating a wedding on Saturday. And shout out to Sammy and Stasia Ash, who are on their mini moon right now. So hope you lovebirds are just enjoying one another. And they had a beautiful wedding, and my team and I were on the move from noon till almost 10:15. And I literally had 11,777 steps that I
Wow.
got in on Saturday afternoon. So I topped my top, and but it's amazing how good you can feel. And if you allow yourself to just bask in the little victories, then it helps
Yes,
you continue on this journey, right? And
that's
so
correct.
I appreciate what you have shared. Let's see what William is saying. He says, what I tell people is we are organic creatures, so we must eat organic food, stay away from the genetically modified diet.
That's
Absolutely.
right. That's
Absolutely.
right. Because our bodies don't know what it is. And so
Exactly.
that's what creates cancer and these blockages and the colon issues and
Um,
everything because our bodies is like, what is this? And then
yeah,
it just crystallizes in places and it's
yeah,
just no good.
it's
Yeah, absolutely no soda. Like soda, no, I do not drink soda. The
mm,
sugar content in soda pop is, and then
good.
these things are addictive too. And then you wonder why you can't leave it alone. And so you have to give yourself time to replace it with something else. And then after about, for me, 3 days, like after 3 days, I don't want it anymore. Like you
Right.
have to like fast and train your taste buds to just not even
Uh-huh.
want it. But some
Yeah.
things are just non-negotiables for me, like sugar and any kind of like candy bars and the stuff that they put
Mhm.
right in your eyesight when you're in
Exactly.
the checkout. It's
Yes.
right there, so you tempted to grab it. I'm just like, no,
No, thank
I
you.
didn't come.
No,
I didn't come to that. I want to live as long as I can.
exactly. I used to be culprit of every time I get there, it'd be the Snickers bar on the way
Yeah,
out the door, the Snickers
yeah.
bar. And
It's
then
peanut M&Ms for me. I'm just like, oh my
I
goodness, the peanut M&Ms.
well, for me, those would go in the popcorn at the theater, at the movie
Yeah,
theater. Well,
right.
it's really something how when you cleanse your palate, then your cravings change and you don't
They
crave
do.
that stuff. And
They
I
really do.
actually had sugar for the first time in maybe 3 months. Just on Saturday, they had these cheesecake cupcakes, and they were three flavors: sweet potato, banana pudding,
Oh
and
my gosh.
so I had one, and let me tell you, it was so good. And but it was enough. I didn't
Yeah,
go overboard and need more
right.
and need more. And so I can definitely tell the difference when you start to change and make it a
Yeah.
lifestyle change. So I honor that you said that. That's absolutely true.
And your body definitely speaks to you, like when you cleanse yourself from those things. And
Mhm.
then, because I do treat myself every now and then, but then when you do introduce that back into your system, your body's like, what is this? Like, what
Hello.
is this? Like, okay, I'm going to keep you up tonight because the
Right.
sugar and caffeine is in there. I'm
Exactly.
not going to, be regular with you because now you polluted me. So the body,
Exactly.
William is right. The body does what it is supposed to do
Mhm.
if we just organically let it do it and keep good
Exactly.
things
And
inside. Yeah,
his body is so in tune with the healthy lifestyle that if he veers away from it, he can feel it in his joints. He can feel it
yeah,
right away in his
right
joints.
away. Yeah,
And so it is, there's like an alarm bell that goes off. And if that's happening, you got to think, do I want to do that? And there was a time, Pamela, when I didn't care. I wanted
me
the things
too.
that I wanted.
Too.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And
yeah,
and I was unhealthy then, and I was also emotionally and mentally unhealthy, and there
yeah.
was an ache I was feeding, not my body. And
Sure.
so once you get in tune with all of that, then you realize, and you can release the weight, you can release the food that causes the weight, and all of the other stuff that goes with it that keeps us unwell.
That's
One
right.
100%, 100%. Well, let's talk a little bit more about your healing journey. Um, because I imagine after 18 years, I know for me it was 14 years of being with William Joseph, and I lost him. And so after 18 years, I can imagine the pain of the loss. And also I want to touch on the pain of knowing, the knowingness of, you know, the terminal diagnosis and all that. Can you speak a little bit to that?
Sure. Yeah, the knowing was really excruciating. There's nothing that can prepare you for that. There's nothing.
Mm,
Because you get that diagnosis. First of all, you as a person of faith, you're like, I'm exercising my faith. This
yeah.
it's gonna be okay, and that's good because we are supposed to do that. But then when you see the decline still happening, you see it happen rapidly,
Yes.
then you can't do anything but
Mm,
be in the presence of God. That's all you can do. And I'm saying this because I'm on the other side of it now.
mm,
But being in it, you can't fathom any of this. All you're seeing is your all you're seeing is that your husband, your partner, your partner in the faith, your person is not feeling good and they're not doing well. And the worst possibility could happen or is happening right before your eyes.
yeah.
So as I'm sitting on the other side of it, I just see how God's power really comes into play, like His strength and His grace is truly sufficient
Yeah.
in those times because you're powerless. Like you have to lean on the power of God
Mhm.
when you're seeing the tubes, when you're seeing the organs begin to shut down, when you're seeing the paramedics coming to the home every week, and the neighbors are asking what is happening, and
Mm,
and then the final, just that final um, trip to the hospital and coming back home this time without him, and entering in the home knowing that he'll never be here again. There are
yeah.
no words for that.
Yeah.
There are just no words for that. I've come a long ways because like right after 4 months, like he passed away in October of 2019, and then fast forward like 4 or 5 months, we're in a global pandemic in a stay-at-home order, and so I'm like, at a time when we couldn't gather,
Right.
um, I sat alone grieving in a global pandemic,
Yeah.
and that's when I really needed God. That's when I really was like, okay, God, it's just me and you in here, and I need you like never before. And
Absolutely.
so I think what really distracted me was what happened with the George Floyd situation and
Mhm.
Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and what was going on in the government because we had a different president up there, and it was crazy. And
Yeah.
um, and so I was distracted by all that because it
Mm,
wasn't until like 2023, like last year, I really grieved. Like I really, and I think it's because things had gone back to normal, and we had all been those of us who decided to be vaccinated, and the mask had come off, and people are
mhm.
back to work, and so it's back to like okay. And so I just God is just so creative in how He did that because a lot of although that was hard, but I think during that time period of all of this going on, the news and what's happening and we don't know, and really was a distraction for me to kind of um, redirect my thinking
Mhm.
somewhere else because you imagine just losing someone and then seeing somewhere in isolation.
Oh, yes.
So unfortunately there were some other gut wrenching things going on that that took my mind into some other
Mhm.
areas. But I'm just saying that it takes just courage. There's just no playbook to grief recovery.
Right.
There's absolutely no playbook. It's a day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute. some of the information that I share on my platform about grief is there's 24 hours in a day. If you can get through it, then there's going to be another day. Like if you can just get through those hours, probably 12 or 15, go to sleep,
Yeah.
and then you wake up to a new day. But there were some days where it was just really hard just getting
Yeah.
through. And so it's
Yes.
important to have a circle. It's
Cool.
important to have scriptures. Important to have your scriptures, your go-to scriptures, to
Mhm.
really pull you out of the trenches at times where you there's nobody to call. You know, people aren't answering the phones. You just gotta sit in God's presence and just really walk with God. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel that pain. You know, just to feel the loss and to really like embrace what has happened because we're human, and so
Right.
we have to, it's important to really allow ourselves to the best that we can. I had
Mhm.
therapy. So I had, I believe in therapy sessions, like regular therapy sessions as needed. So I was already receiving previous therapy sessions because I had lost two sisters. I had lost a sister. And a bunch of other people, by the way. So, but with
Right.
my, one of my siblings, I was just feeling some things, and then my husband passed away like less than a year after that, and so
Mm.
I hadn't really grieved her loss, and not to mention her loss, but Sydney Johnson's loss, because
Oh,
Sydney Johnson passed away
in
a month
29.
prior, just a
Mm.
month prior, and I couldn't attend her going away service because my husband he was transitioned, so
Mm.
I didn't get a chance to grieve her loss. So I'm thinking 2023 was the year, because I think I cried almost every day 2023. Like
Wow.
I wept so much in 2023. I don't know. I was like,
Mm.
God, why 2023? Like, we went through a
Yeah.
pandemic, we went through all this stuff, and 2023, that was the year he designated for me to grieve, to like to really get it out, like to really feel it, and to really start missing, like started really missing everything about my marriage, and really missing my husband and the things that he meant to me, his legacy, like the way that we were as a couple. We went to church together for 18 years, 20 plus years actually, if you when you consider the dating and the engagement and all of that. And we served the singles ministry together, and we held dating devotionals in our home for the dating singles. We did that he led those. And so to walk into church now without him, it only takes God, because I'm in such a healed place that I'm not a stuck widow. And so that's something that I encourage on my platform as well. I promote wellness. One of my series is called Unstuck, and I've written an ebook for widows who are thinking about returning back to the workplace, which I've done. And I learned some really interesting things along the way, so I wanted to share that to the world. And so I've written an ebook called Unstuck, reentering into the workforce after losing a spouse, a divorce, or a long leave of absence, because it was almost 8 years that I had been out of the workforce in retirement. And I'm thinking, it's just me here now. What am I going to do? And so I decided to do that. But I also had to consider that, how do I do this? Like, how do I bridge this gap? And employers are going to want to know, like, how do we rehire someone? They've been out of the workforce for so long, but I did it. And so after doing it, I wanted to share with others that if they're in this situation, that they can do it too. And so I do have an ebook for others to look into. But
I love
yeah,
that.
it's just there's no playbook. It's just leaning on God and having your tribe, your village,
Right.
being, because times like this will really test your true Christian character, when you
Mhm.
really suffer some sort
Mm.
of challenge in your life.
Mhm. Absolutely. Thank you for that. I totally understand what you're saying. And I think that when, your husband passed at the beginning of the pandemic, just pre-pandemic, and William Joseph passed when people started getting a vaccinations, and
Yeah.
he passed in February of 2021. we had a nice little toast on New Year's Day or New Year's Eve and said, "Well, baby, we made it."
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
and 16 days later, we were both sleeping and sluggish and not knowing what was happening. And I
Mhm.
woke up with the fever of 102 and went
Oh
to urgent
goodness.
care to find out I had COVID.
Yeah.
And then, we had the immediately the village was, thank God for the village, thank God for Chantel Denise and John Steinreich who rallied the village, and Gigi and all of the lovely sister team that came to my aid. And actually, when he passed, they were all here. They were outside. I was day 16 of COVID, and I
Wow.
was sitting up near the front of my home, and they were all around my yard. And I had a computer full of sorority sisters who
Yeah.
are on there. And one of the young ladies that is my heart that I pledged with was there. People just really step up when you have that kind of gift of friendship with people, because this one particular girl, she doesn't drive. She didn't drive. She didn't like to drive anywhere. She came from Woodland Hills to my house. My other friend who doesn't drive the freeway, the minute I told her they intubated William, she got in the car, and then they just trickled in. And it was the most beautiful way to experience the kindness and love of friends and sister friends, and the prayers that people can give that will hold you up when you don't think you can stand. And I can attest to that. For weeks and weeks, when I was still hacking and coughing and folks were not able to come in the house, they got
Yeah.
someone to come and clean the house. Valentine's Day came immediately after he passed, and they uh, got a nurse who had stayed with me for a week, and then she left. And then Valentine's came, they had her come back because that was a big deal for us. And so just the kindness that I remember, and I know that that, of course, came from, these are God's people, and he
Yeah.
set it up that way that they would be there,
Right.
to walk through this with me throughout. And once we could come in a little bit, then they were in the house, they were cooking for me, they were making me eat because I had no appetite. So all of that is part of the journey of the love, the loss, and the healing. And to get to that without God, I don't know how anyone would dare do it, because it is a pain that is so hollow. It
Yes.
it goes through your body. And I
Yes.
too am on the other side. And the most amazing miracle and understanding that God um, is always in the mix is just getting to meet William Kirby and him having the same name, and us being introduced by someone who now lives with God. We were
Yes.
tricked
Absolutely.
into meeting, and the
Yeah.
person that introduced us, it's as though God said, "This is your assignment, my son. I have this for you." And so I just get welled up inside when I think of the gift of that, after having had a love like William Joseph, and just knowing that if I never have another, I'm good. God is good. He gave me a most beautiful relationship, and to think that he would allow me to have another is just beyond what gratitude can look like. Absolutely.
Yes. That is a blessing. Yes.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And your journey of, I love the way you described it as just, it came when it came. Like there was all this pain and all this hurt, and then years later it shows up in a different
Yeah.
kind of way. And that's how it is. That's how it is. Even now, I still miss William Joseph and his presence and his smile and his laugh and all the things. And I know that though I have found love again, I will always have those memories and that special place for that man,
Yes.
and for God again to bless me with another. I'm still fully grateful, and I believe that, William Joseph was up there and said, "Yep, that's him, God, that one, right? No, no, not him, that one, yes."
Yeah. Right.
And he said, "Let him have my name so that she never forgets me."
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, let's see what they're saying out there. He said, I think that's thank Pamela for taking time out of her extremely busy schedule to share this important information, to share her life with us. Thank you so very much. Beautiful.
You're
Yeah.
welcome, William.
I want to shout out Linda Sam, the jazz legend out there.
Linda.
Hello, hello, hello. Thanks for tuning in, sis. And Soror Terry says that's why it's so important to have a personal relationship with God and to know Him for yourself.
That's
Absolutely.
right. That is
Absolutely.
right.
Surround yourself with His people. Really,
That's
really.
right.
Ah, Gigi. Many hearts to you, sis. Many hearts to you.
Yeah.
And yes, William, we will excuse the typos. Yes. So as you have come on the other side of this journey, and you are sitting in the space of healing now, tell us what, I know you mentioned you have a platform and that you're helping others learn, what it's like. I actually love that. I love, because I find that so many women do not have the journey that you and I have had, where they've made it over to the other side of healing, and they don't give themselves permission to heal.
Yes.
And I just want to say to those sisters, your love is not measured by how long you suffer in grief.
That's right.
I had to remind myself every day that I wanted to honor his life with my own. Therefore,
Right.
I had to live it. I chose joy, because he was joy. And that helped me. That helped me to get through it, to commit to the joy. Now, that doesn't mean that I wasn't in the depths of the grieving process and in the depths of the pain and the hurt. And even in that, I chose to find joy, something joyous in every day. For the
Right.
longest time, my joy was the hummingbird that would come to visit my flower right out front. That hummingbird showed up when we were sitting out there, when that nurse called and told me that he had taken his last breath. That
Yes.
hummingbird came that day, and he would come and visit. That would bring me joy. The just living in California, being able to take in the sun and take in the beauty of the world. You have to find the joy wherever you can
You do.
and
You
allow
really do.
it, right?
Right. And even as a believer, early on, I would say, wow, I just really don't like, because once this happens, um, and even the government is like, you're no longer married. I mean, even with your filing status,
Mhm.
the government, they're like, you're not married anymore. So you have to embrace, your status being single. Like you can't file your taxes and whatever saying you married when you're not. So, I mean, and those are the laws of the land. And so embracing that, and then embracing what the season that God has me in now. Like I'm no longer in the season that I was in anymore. So
Mhm.
I have to honor God by trusting him that that season that I was in as a wife is no more. I'm no more a wife. I don't have a spouse. I'm not. My devotion is no longer undivided. It's back. It's no longer divided. It's now undivided back to God. And
Mhm.
so I have to show up for that. And so I share that on my platform to encourage other men and women that
Mhm.
even to walk into obedience with God, we have to let it go.
Yes.
Like we have to let it go so he can use us accordingly. and allow him to heal, allow whoever people or whatever is coming into our lives to heal. I know that my husband spoke about me marrying again, and I mean that's something that I also desire. And I've even written. I'm in the process of writing another book about dating after loss because
Mhm.
I'm now open to dates, and I've been going on some dates
Oh,
and
good.
just sharing. And because we both led dating devotionals as a married couple, God is really using me in that
Mm,
regard.
yes,
And so yeah, you have to embrace God where He plants you and bloom from there.
absolutely. Ooh, I love that. I love that statement right there. You have to embrace God and where he plants you and bloom from there.
Um,
That's so beautiful. That is so beautiful. And I'm happy to hear that you are dating again. I love that for you. It's such a beautiful thing when you can remember um what you had and embrace that as a memory and move forward for what God has for you next. And I think that
yes,
that's where, like, I love that you have the Unstuck platform because that is where God can unstick you when you allow him
love, yeah,
and recognize what he wants for you. William Joseph also had said to me, if anything ever happens to me, you must marry again. And I
yeah,
didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to think about it. I don't like thinking about those things. And I recognize that God has me as someone's wife, and that
that's
is
right.
where I get to go back to. I do know also what you mean, though, about embracing like the reality of what it is to no longer be a married person. I know one of the big things for me was, uh-oh, I gotta pay bills. You
Right. I mean, there's a lot.
know,
There's
a lot. And you
the
know,
couples connections and the couples retreats that you're not invited to anymore. There's the intimacy part that no one wants to talk about. And I'm
mhm,
like, that doesn't just disappear. I mean,
you're
so anyway,
right.
but
And
I
of
know that
course,
our family members will want us to not just to survive being here without them, but to thrive and while
absolutely.
we're here to live life and live it to the full.
Absolutely. Oh, so beautiful. So, Pamela, it's getting close to that time. I want to see what Gwendolyn says, and then I'll tell you. Hey, Gwendolyn. She says
Hi,
it's important
Gwendolyn.
to choose the joy in the Lord. It's a joy the world didn't give us. So be reminded they can't take it away. Trust God with your living well to honor the life He's given you to live today. Amen. Absolutely.
Amen. That's right.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you, sis. So, Pamela, we have come to the part of Boss Talk where I want to ask you to just take about 20, 30 seconds to give us what you want to leave the Boss Talkers with tonight.
Wow, yes. Well, this has been absolutely amazing. Thank you again for inviting me to come out to be a part of this evening. I think what I would like to leave with the listener or the viewer tonight is to just to remember who God is in your life. Is to remember that we're all here. We were planned for a purpose. You know, our lives here were planned for a purpose, and the pain that we endure is for a purpose. I mean, it just is. Jesus's pain was for a purpose, and the same with ours. And to just embrace your life where it is, give what you have, don't hold back, and just allow God to use you to the full.
Hmm.
We all have a time where we're going to leave here. But we don't know when that's going to be. But it's interesting that it wasn't until like after my husband passed is when I started a business. You know, I decided to go back to work. I mean, you become a totally different person if you let it. And so
Hmm.
when you embrace your pain and embrace what's happened to you, it does take time. I'm not downplaying the fact that grief has different stages and levels in which you need to attend to your own needs, but there is another side that you will get to, and the more that we acknowledge what's happened, I think the more easier it is for us. So I just wanted to
Absolutely.
leave that
Yeah.
with you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, that is so true. And I think you're right. I know that out of necessity, I when I went back to my work, I took it up to another level. I took it up a notch. Is in fact, I'm working on a workshop called Take It Up a Notch because I had to take it up a notch. I had to replace an income. I had to um, step up and really embrace honoring his his life with my own. And so I started the business in a different way. I turned it into a group practice. I incorporated it. I started a nonprofit all in his honor. And it really helped me to get through the process of what it was going to look like to be Sean LeRae, the unmarried woman.
Yes,
So
the
I'm
unmarried
so
woman. That's correct. So I just
grateful.
want the listeners to know that I have an ebook. It's called Unstuck. If you're struggling with, taking steps forward after your loss, or even a divorce, or even being away from something, and you just need that encouragement, visit my Stand store, and you can download it digitally. And I also have a jewelry store online as well. So if you're looking for a Mother's Day gift, or something for Father's Day, visit Gratitude Jewelry. And thank you for your support.
It is so beautiful, and all of Pamela's links are right there. So you all know, go ahead and copy those. And also, you can return here anytime to rewatch the show to get them. Please do go and follow her. Her jewelry is amazing. I love the name, Gratitude Jewelry. And I am in full gratitude because I was actually gifted one of your pieces in Greenville, Georgia at and it was a funny thing because you and I had only met briefly one time.
That's right.
And that was and I was with Sydney that day at
Yeah.
the Live Your Vision event at Pepperdine, where Chantel
Yes.
Hughes, my girl, was singing. And so
Right.
my first time going, and I met you that day. And then Asia Storm kept saying to me, "You need to meet Pamela. You need to meet Pamela." And the more she described you, I was like, "Wait, I think I did. I think I did."
Yes.
And then the rest is history. Everywhere we go, we see one another now.
That's right. That's right. We were
Love
meant to be connected
that. Yes, that's right.
beyond sisterhood.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it has been my honor and pleasure to have you on here tonight. Thank you so much for every bit of what you shared. And you all again, don't lose this show. Go and find her and get some of that beautiful jewelry and get that ebook and help yourself to become unstuck. Thank you for the session's message, ladies. Death of a really, really loved one changes you for the good they were in your life.
That's
Absolutely.
right.
Beautifully said, Gwendolyn. Sora Terry says, thank you so much. Be blessed. Thank you,
Thank
Sora.
you, Terry.
Thank you. Thank you. And I would be remiss if I left here tonight without saying happy birthday to three beautiful people in my life. Yesterday was my baby sister's birthday. Happy birthday, Brenda Lachelle Williams Lewis Booper, aka Booper. And happy birthday today to my girl, Nene Renee Hadley, Renee Elaine Hadley. Love you, lovely. And
Happy birthday, ladies.
birthday to my dear sweet daughter from William Joseph, Miss Jillian, whose birthday is tomorrow. So, y'all, this has been Boss Talk. That's bold, one of a kind, sensational superstars. And y'all know that's each and every one of you. Find us next week from William J to William K. That's right, baby.
I love it. I
And
love it.
Boss Talk.
Oh,
Thank you, Gigi. Such a beautiful discussion wrapped in the love of God. You're such a beautiful, let's see, your love is not measured by how long you suffer in grief. And with that, y'all know what to do. Live loved and shalom, y'all. Peace.
All right.
Star with Shonda Rhimes.